Kelly commentates here. It is time for suggestions for the 2025 to 2026 Olympic season for programs for the women's discipline. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at some of the top skaters going into next season and giving some of my opinions and ideas for programs for some of the top skaters. Stick around with me, it is going to be fun. Okay, I kind of split it up into different category of programs. Let's go ahead and start with power programs. And what better skater to start with than Wakaba Higuchi of Japan, who has skated to Lion King at the Beijing Olympics. She's also skated to a Bond song, and she's just done some really powerful programs. So when I think of Wakaba, I think of power just kind of inherently. She's got so much power to her skating, and I just think that a power program is always a really good vehicle for her to display her best skating. My first idea is a Schindler's List program. Now, stick with me here. Some people may be crying, but she's not Jewish. Well, you don't need to be Jewish to display emotions behind a song and to embody the musical and have, a musical impact. I think this could be a really good option for her. Let me play some of the music for you here. You can hear the tones here are, a little bit somber. It's very emotional, and this is one form of power. Power isn't just, big jumps and, high-flying elements. Now, for some costume ideas, on the left, we have something that has kind of a lot of interest to it. Obviously, I'm not sure that, these are not skating dresses, so it would need to be, quote-unquote, skatified and made into more of a costume. But you kind of get the idea, something flowing, something kind of ragged or jagged and just kind of rough around the edges. I think green would be nice. I don't think I've seen her wear much green in the past, and we want to put ourselves forward in the Olympic season with our very best self. On the right, we also have something a little bit more, just kind of taking in those kind of almost like canvas color tones and just something a little bit, I wouldn't say drab, but just a little bit downtrodden and kind of playing into that program. So what would you think of a Schindler's List program from Wakaba Higuchi? Another of one of my favorite songs ever is Ludovico Einauri's Experience. It is also very demonstrative of power, in my opinion. I'd love to see Wakaba go for like white and black or all black costume. I think something on the left. Obviously, it's not a skater dress on the left, so we want to just keep in mind this is just inspiration, but something kind of asymmetrical. And I like how there's like the play between white and black, and it just kind of blends itself to that kind of just high contrast. I think it would look really cool. Something over on the right. Now, I don't think we do halter style, so that's not correct, but I liked the kind of jaggedness of this costume. I like how it's all black, but it has visual interest. I think something like that could be really cool for Wakaba. I haven't really seen her do that before, and so I think in the Olympic season, we want to be true to ourselves, but we also want to push the boundary a little bit and create buzz for our program. So just an idea here for Ludovico Einauri's Experience. Let's play a little bit of it here. Okay, and what's a power program without Kaori Sakamoto, who did like a Chicago's free program this season? And I had a few ideas for her as well going into the Olympic season. Kaori has skated to Gladiator before, so that is definitely a very powerful song. How can we forget her Matrix program as well, showcasing speed and power? So my first idea is a song from Assassin's Creed. Listen to the song here and see if you can tell why I kind of picked these types of costumes. I really like this music. It feels very powerful. It feels very intense. I think Kaori could really pull it off. And even though she skated to a black dress this season in the free program, I think the dress on the left is so different, especially with like the way the fabric kind of wraps around the dress and goes down around the side. I think it looks really cool. I think this would look really artistic and beautiful on the ice. On the right side, something a little different. Now, obviously, this is super long and it would need to be, again, skatified, but I like the idea of kind of having the overdress, like something bright, like yellow or another color, and then having the dark dress underneath and kind of belted or clasped. I think this would look really cool. I think the silhouette would look really nice on Kaori. And again, just something strong and powerful to skate to for the Olympic season. Here's another idea for her. Okay, my next idea, I'd really love to see Kaori skate to a Billie Eilish song, especially maybe something like Bad Guy, or I found this song, You Should See Me in a Crown. If we go with this song, take a listen here.
Nothing to help. Watch me make them bow one by one.
Obviously, Kaori is a queen, so I think that this is kind of subtle, subliminal messaging, telling us we should see her in a crown, we should see her with the gold medal, that type of thing. And I really like these dresses here. I think something geometric, something playing with shape, pattern, and color would be really nice, especially since this season she wore just pure black and pure red. I would like to see something different going into next season. I want to shake things up for Kaori, and I think this would be a really nice vehicle for her. What other types of costumes could you see for this program?
Talks like a parrot. What is going on with you, Maria?
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel pretty and witty and gay.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about quote-unquote pretty programs. Now, pretty much the queen of pretty programs is Isabeau Levito. She often skates to like classical music, something very beautiful, dreamy, and part of me was very determined to be like, no, she needs to go with a power program, or she needs to go with, a dramatic program or a musical. But I feel very, very confident that Isabeau needs to stick to what she's been doing. She needs to stick to her strengths. And I want Audrey Hepburn Part 2. She skated to Moon River in her short program this year. You can see the packaging here. And I think this was a slam dunk. I think this was a hit. I think this showed versatility to her, but it's still pretty in a sense. It's Audrey Hepburn, obviously. So I'm thinking we could take a different music from, Audrey's very illustrious career and kind of have an Moon River Part 2. So here are some costumes I would like. Okay, I was thinking we could draw inspiration from My Fair Lady, another Audrey Hepburn movie. On the left, we have a pale pink dress, and on the right is one of the most famous dresses from the movie, also in black and white. Okay, so for this program, I was thinking we could go for a silhouette similar to this dress on the left that Mariah Bell has worn previously. Obviously, we don't want to copy the dress, but just kind of this sort of classy, classic silhouette, but maybe in pink to reference the movie. We could also kind of stick with the black and white theme, but do something a little more visually interesting this time. Maybe like an asymmetrical shoulder, or kind of more color blocking with the black and white. I think something like this here would be really beautiful and really elegant on Isabeau. Here's another option to consider. Let's go ahead and listen to some of the music from My Fair Lady.
Who takes good care of me, oh, wouldn't it be lovely, 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 lovely.
Okay, I should have said this at the beginning, you guys, but you have to go to Song View now. I know USFS requires this, and you have to make sure that the songs that you're choosing for your programs are either covered by ASCAP or BMI. So those are two different music groups, and it either has to be the combination between the two equals 100, or one of them owns, all of it. So just something to think about here. Another queen of pretty is Kimmy Repond. She's skated to Voila by Barbara Pravi. She's also done Exogenesis. Her costuming is not always a hit to me. However, her costume this year in the center was so beautiful. Here are some ideas for Kimmy that I really think she could pull off. I think this season, for the Olympic season, she should go for something more classical. So something really pretty, such as Liebestraum No. 3 by Litz or Beethoven Symphony No. 6. I think she did asymmetrical shoulders last season, so if she did use something like the dress on the left, I would probably equalize the shoulders. But I like this idea, though, how it dips from black to green. It almost looks like the night sky. And then on the right, I like how that dress kind of gathers. And actually, you know, the one on the right is really pretty. I think she could kind of keep that as is with few edits. I would like to see her in a darker blue. I think the light blue is a little pale on the ice. So I think this next season we should go a little darker blue. But listen to Litz and then Beethoven and let me know what you think.
Oh my God, I'm afraid for your life. Have you seen that?
No, but I feel it. It's a hole in my
Courtney.
head. I swear it's from my ponytail in New York. It was so tight
Courtney,
that I had
your
a
hair
bump
is
on my
gone.
head like this.
You're bald. Courtney.
Okay, it's time for the dramatic programs. And I think one person that really pulls it off is Haein Lee. She always has these kind of pretty princess dresses. You can see some of them here from her previous programs. But I think she really has a flair for the dramatic. She actually won her Silver Worlds medal nonetheless, you know, using Phantom of the Opera. And she really performed it well. They go to Masquerade at the end of the program, you can see here, and look how well she's presenting it to the judges. Just beautiful. So I think Haein is a shoo-in for a dramatic program. Okay, unless you've been living under a rock, you have not heard Defying Gravity before. I think she would be a really great contender to skate to Defying Gravity. Mao Shimada, junior skater, skated to it this season, and I think it's a really nice program on the ice. I like the dress on the left because it plays into both Alphabet and Glinda, who both sing on that song, the pink and the green, and I just think it's a really nice silhouette. And I know she tends to do prettier dresses. It's kind of a Korean Federation thing, I've noticed. So we can stick in that same vein so she feels comfortable, but kind of do something different. Another idea is to do a song from Little Shop of Horrors called Suddenly Seymour. I think she could really, really lean into the drama of it. Take a listen to the song here. Okay, this one might surprise some people because Amber Glenn has really skated to very kind of muted, kind of monotone songs this year, but I think that she could pull from the music, and even if it's a strong, powerful song, because I think Amber is a strong, powerful skater, I still think she could do it in a way where she feels very comfortable. And if you know Amber, you know that she is the queen of the purple dresses. She always wears purple on the ice, it seems like. And so let's keep her there. And here are some ideas where I think she could really play into the music and the lyrics and still feel very guarded. Amber has said that her music this year helped her mental health, and I love that, but I still want to make sure we're pushing Amber. And so one idea is a song called Another 100 People from the musical Company. And what's nice about this song is the lyrics are talking about kind of like being a caretaker and how you form those human connections. And I feel like Amber is someone where human connection is so important. Listen to a little bit of it here. I think since Amber loves purple so much, I don't want to take away her signature color, but let's lean into more of that darker eggplant color, maybe something a little more monochromatic like the dress on the left. And then another idea, now this song is very emotional, so this might not work for her, but just an idea is And I'm Telling You I'm Not Going from Dreamgirls by Jennifer Hudson. Amber could play into that silver color on the right, something silver and purpley, so still her signature, but a little bit brighter and less muted. And I don't know, I think that these lyrics could possibly speak to her because Amber Glenn, if you know anything about her, is not going anywhere. What did you guys think of my suggestions for packaging and programs for the Olympic season? Let me know in the comments below. Part 2 coming soon. Over and out. This is Kelly Commentates.